Front to back, yeah. Yep. All right, here we go. So Ryan Tuerck, restart him, rack him and track him. Ryan Tuerck got a clean start. Here we go. Toyota, GR Corolla, Rain-X, Rockstar initiates into that first outside zone. Let's see how he handles it. Into the outside zone, he does get out there. Castro comes up a little bit short here. You can see the proximity here. Ryan Tuerck, oh, look at that. He misses that back bumper on outside zone 3. Great overhead shot here. Look at that angle from Ryan Tuerck. Castro did have the proximity, but he needs to mimic the angle. Great shot on that overhead on there. Great way to start the top 16. Can you feel it? Stomp your feet, Long Beach.
If there were team orders, it must have been stick it to his door.
Right.
That was a great chase run from Castro. On initiation, they both look pretty close. You can see Tuerck out to outside zone 1. Nice job there. Castro was doing a good job. He was just off slightly on outside zone 2, but right there you can see they touched nose to nose. Sort of knocked the bumpers off of both cars. Half the bumpers are no longer attached, it looks like. But that was just a slight kiss there from Castro. Let's watch it again from the FPV drone. This should give us a good view of where Castro touched the front of Tuerck's car right there. So you can see maybe a headlight flew off as well. But I don't think that affected either driver in terms of the attitude of the cars. It was just a light touch, so that won't be a problem. They'll get those bumpers either taken off the cars at the start line or potentially zip tied back on there. We'll see what they choose to do. But look at Tuerck here, right out to outside zone 1, transitions to zone 2, beautiful job there. Gets all the way out to 3, touches the wall, so he's really laying down a lead run, very similar to that of which got him that 98-point run in qualifying. And you knew that Castro had the confidence in the chase. He knows Tuerck's going to get down a great run. He can get real close and put on the pressure.
You know, in one of those K&N keys to success.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
They actually touched tire to tire, too, I think. It looked like Castro's car lifted up a little bit there when they touched, but hopefully there's no damage.
Yeah, so there's that contact there on outside zone.
Just to make it flow more and have a nice...
That's happening?
That's what I was told.
Okay.
I'm very excited about that. Ryan didn't look at me and should throw daggers at me, so I think maybe it's true. Here we go.
You're willing. Here we go. Jonathan Castro will lead. Ryan Tuerck giving chase. Castro, good initiation there. Was that at the 3-2-1? Here we go. Out to the outside zone. Look at that, tapping bumpers on the wall.
Oh, no.
Castro, big hit.
I don't think Tuerck touched. Look at that, inches between him and the wall. Castro did get into the tire wall, but I think it was minimal. You can see no damage really, maybe some damage from the wall hit.
That back right corner definitely slapped the wall. Tuerck evaded, so that was going to be Castro at fault, and Tuerck fortunately missed him. And I think, fortunately, I think it looks like Castro just pulled right off. He just got too aggressive.
Exactly.
Just slapped that wall. Hey, make some noise for these drivers. Come on now. Fortunately, drives away. Again, Ryan Tuerck in his 86 years ago took hard on the wall. We saw Matt Field last year. Remember, he had
Field and Aasbo, right?
Oh my gosh, him and Aasbo. Aasbo went across them, and so let's take a look at it again.
Castro knows he needs to lay down that 100-point run here. He had no choice but to lay down something incredible, and he starts off very strong, just kisses the wall in outside zone 1, gets too deep in outside zone 2, causes him to spin, go towards that tire wall, but luckily he gets the car slowed down enough that it's just a light touch. And I'm sure in the chase position, Tuerck must have been kind of having flashbacks to that time he did go in there in his GT86,
right.
But he did manage to avoid contact with both Castro and the tire wall. He was inches away from the wall there, so great job by both drivers of kind of controlling the cars after that hit. But look at that proximity to the wall and outside zone 1 from Castro. Beautiful job there. Just got a little too deep. Oh, they did bump right there. I didn't even realize that. So Tuerck did bump him as they spun around, but looks like no real damage to either car. They can't be fixed. So we're going to get the results up here and see who's going to move on. I think it's pretty safe to say.
Yeah, it's pretty safe to say that Tuerck will get the advancement, right? Yeah.
That was an independent hit from Castro, so no fault of Ryan's there at all.
All right, slide them. Which way for which driver? Tuerck or Castro? No team orders there. They were pushing for it. And here we go, the Royal Purple Top 16, our first battle. Who's moving on to the Grade 8? Slide him left for Tuerck or right for Castro? Ryan Tuerck in that Toyota GR Corolla, the Rain-X. And that's exactly the design there. We don't want to drag race to initiation. as Jonathan Hurst kind of rolls into the start. I want to definitely run that back, but Taylor Hull using all of the course. Jonathan Hurst very shallow on his line. Now coming past the judges stand into the outside zone 3. Jonathan a little wobble there as he goes into that touch and go and it wraps it around that final inside clip. You saw Taylor Hull off that inside clip quite a bit, but Jonathan very shallow. And I want to look at, did Hurst initiate it? He's way late.
Yeah,
right?
that's a tricky, we'll have to get the replay on that. Yeah. In the lead position there, you can see Taylor Hull getting to his zones. Could have been deeper in zone 3 there, but he's getting through the course. Right here, he just overshoots inside clip 1. You can see him sort of stall out on his pace right there because the line is so wide. You really want to get that car on the inside nice and tight on the clip so you can maintain proximity. But let's look at this big flick from Taylor Hull. Gets to angle, comes through outside zone number 1, a few feet off of outside zone 1. Same thing for 2, comes to 3. Could have been deeper on 3 as well, but you can see Hurst there in the chase position, putting on pressure, staying close. And right here, this is a tricky spot when the lead driver sort of washes out like that and slows down to try to stay on a line that will allow them to continue with angle by the finish line. So Hurst definitely had some challenges here, and we know just from watching practice with in the lead position there with Hull that Hull's slightly slower than some drivers through outside zone 3. But that's something that Hurst should have been informed of through his spotter, and you can see that he was adjusting and he got through there pretty well. But it's really inside clip 1 that looked like a really tricky spot.
All right, so Jonathan Hurst will lead, Taylor Hull giving chase. Jonathan Hurst, the new Tour BMW, Cash Racing. Here we go, the Turbo LS again. Jonathan Hurst initiates. A lot of handbrake there as he goes into that first outside zone. Use all the course. Taylor Hull needs to apply the pressure. He is back to quite a, wow, Taylor Hull dragging bumper on that second outside zone, comes to the third. Taylor Hull now gains that ground. So you saw Taylor Hull kind of check up going in that last outside zone. It seemed that gave Taylor Hull an opportunity to catch back up to him. Taylor is a strong lead run there, by the way.
Yeah, you could see Hurst is on it. You could see the speed differential between the two cars. So you've switched positions and put Hurst in the chase. That's where he's got trouble to try to maintain drift behind a slower car. But right here, Hurst, great lead run, getting all the zones. Look how wide he was on 3, he was wide on 2. Looked very solid. So here, also washes a little bit wide early on inside clip 1, but kind of almost late apexes it there. But definitely closer to the clip than we saw Hull doing in his lead. So nice and wide to zone 1, wide to zone 2. You can see there's not a lot of proximity there between Hull and Hurst. So Hull needs to design in a little bit more grip in that chassis. We know Corvettes do have the ability to have a lot of grip. So maybe there's a setup that needs to be done a little differently on Hull's car to give him that pace throughout the course that he seemed to be lacking in this tandem battle right here.
All right, do we have a verdict here? Do you think it goes one more time? Who's pulling for Taylor Hull out there? Taylor Hull in his Comp Cam's Corvette. Who's pulling for Jonathan Hurst out there? Make some noise. Slide him left for Hull, slide him right for Hurst. And Hurst gets 1 and 2 and 3. Jonathan Hurst gets the victory and advances on this Tour BMW, unfortunately. No, he's going to call you better names.
Yeah,
all right, Ken Gushi, we know how to say that. Kenshiro Gushi, ready to get after it. All right, the Garagistic, another Tour competitor here, Rome. Out front, Ken Gushi, great pressure there, good transition from Rome. Puts the car in the right spot, man. Rome, very fluid. Oh, look at Gushi on the attack. Oh, man. You saw him move up, attack, and had to recoil. And unfortunately, that's going to hurt him. That's going to hurt him in a major way.
He tried to attack late in the run, but it may have bitten him. I don't think that was the right move in that area at that time. You know, he got in there and had to slow down so aggressively that it just stalled his car. And we'll see how that looks on the replay here. Outside zone 1, great job from Rome in the lead. You can see Gushi in the chase, not filling outside zone 2 as well as Rome did in the lead, but the big issue is going to be the inside clip. So watch here as Rome comes through outside zone 3. Nice angle through there, set only a few feet off the wall. And then as he transitions here, watch Gushi in the chase position. Gets to, I guess he's really, really close there before the clip. Dove in, missed the touch and go, but it didn't work out for him, unfortunately. He got too close, too quickly, had to really stall the car up, slow down aggressively to avoid contact with the side of Rome's car. So Rome was just slightly off of outside 1, outside zone 2, maybe a foot off there. A few feet off of outside zone 3. Gushi missed outside zone number 2 to make up for the lack of proximity there. And right there you can see Gushi stall, almost comes to a complete stop. The wheels kind of center out, and then he gets back on throttle to attempt to finish the course. But that's going to be a big detriment to Gushi's effort here.
Yeah, that's going to be a big blow. But you know what? He's out front. He's got the clean air. He's feeling confident. You know, a unique build. He's been campaigning that car for a little bit here, and I think that he could definitely get it done, man. But Rome, you know, I was talking to some drivers and some fans are saying, man, Rome is just surging. He just has such a good confidence about him in this car, just and where he's at. So all right, here we go. Ken Gushi initiates. Rome out back. All right, he's got to get close. Got to stay close. Good initiation transition, by Ken Gushi. Now that third outside zone. Rome tucking into that smoke signal. Now diving in, Ken a little wide around that final inside clip, and that's just the like I said on the opening, that very unassuming, quick little simple, you know, island that could play a major role in a lot of people's outcome.
Yeah, you can see Rome positioned himself much better around inside clip 1, but let's look at the full run here. In the lead, you can see Gushi. Nice line there, decent line to outside zone 1. Good. Same to 2. He did not go as deep in outside zone 3 though. He was, Rome is putting on some good pressure in the chase, but Rome positions himself better here. Gushi was not close to inside clip 1, so let's maybe look at this from a different view. We have the POV cam. This will give us an interesting aspect here of how this run went. You can see that Rome is kind of in that pocket in the chase position, got himself positioned nicely. On the transition here, he goes in a little bit, kind of misses touch and go slightly, but did a really good job of staying with Gushi around that inside clip and mimicked his line pretty well.
All right, 2 runs are done. Are we going to get an advancement of one of these drivers, Rome or the OG, Ken Gushi? Slide him left for Rome, right for Gush, and Rome. Charpentier gets the win. Wow, look at that. Yeah, quite a few. Here we go, Forrest Wang and Alec Robbins. Forrest Wang shimmy his way in front of Alec Robbins out the outside zone. Robbins keeping good composure. Forrest narrowly flirting with that Tuerck performance bumper. Whoa, man, look at that touch and go. A great swing by Forrest Wang. Alec Robbins hanging tough. Like new kids on the block, but far from that, he's not a new kid.
So in the lead position, you can see Wang looks settled, comfortable. In the chase, though, unfortunately, Robbins did not. He looked like he was making some mistakes very early on, had some bobbles along the way. His line wasn't mimicking what Wang was putting down in the lead position very well. And right around inside clip 1 there, you can see that Wang was off of that clip, but I think that's probably the most glaring mistake he made in this lead run. Watch them as they come by outside zone 2 right there, and then they're drawing that nice arc to outside zone 3. Wang just kissed the wall there with that bumper. But you can see Robbins is off quite a bit. He's on the inside running a tighter line, taking advantage of that opportunity to get a little bit more or maintain the proximity that he had next to Forrest Wang.
Alec Robbins got non-stop tuning on the car, and because of the self-made status 350Z and some Holly Performance EFI helping him get it done. Some Kenda tires on the corner. See James Deane lurking in the shadows back there. He's gonna go against Stuke. That should be a fun one. Stuke was so hyped. Like I saw him at halftime. He was like, dude, I'm so pumped. He's like, I want to get James Deane before he gets too comfortable in that Mustang because I think I can get him.
This is going to be a great battle.
Here we go. Alec Robbins. First, we got to find out between Robbins and Wang. Robbins going across the nose of Forrest Wang, and Forrest does need to give way to the lead car. And it's over before it began. Alec Robbins having some issues there So looks like Wang will be advancing on. Make some noise for Alec Robbins and Forrest Wang. And here we go, make it official, slide him left for Forrest Wang. Here we go, James Deane, AutoZone, Mustang RTR Spec 5 FD against Daniel Stuke to M-Spec S chassis. Here comes James Deane. Now transitioning into, oh my gosh, I'm just flabbergasted by James Deane coming back. Gets behind, it's a right-hand drive Ford Mustang, never been done before in the drift world.
He's making it look easy.
Makes it look really easy, but hey.
Stuke stuck it to him.
Stuke stuck it to him.
That was nice. I can't wait to see this replay a little bit up close here and look at what occurred on the track. You can see James Deane's putting down the run that he put down in qualifying, maybe better than what he did in qualifying. Stuke's right there with him, but Deane is putting his car exactly where he should be putting it on the track. Pretty much every step of the way here, tight on everything except inside clip. He kind of early apexed it, went a little bit wide late, but Stuke had a bit of gap here until this transition, and then he was able to miss outside zone 2 slightly, got himself in the right area, misses outside zone 3 slightly, but he's there. He's working on his proximity, staying close. Right there, you can see that Deane was able to make it look smooth, but he definitely early apexed that inside clip, went a little bit wide later, which put him on an awkward line to go over the finish line, but he kept angling the car and made it work. So right here, look how close that is. A few inches away. How close? Half a foot maybe? Coming outside zone 3, got right to the wall there as well. The Machine, right? That's his nickname,
that's
the Machine
his
Deane?
nickname, and he is living up to it. I mean, it's like AI, man. He just absolutely executed. That was incredible. But Stuke, I'm telling you right now, with that clean air, he is just, he's very, very confident, and he seems really calm.
There's a lot of pressure on Stuke right now. He needs to run a pretty high quality lead run, so he needs to get wide everywhere, maintain that momentum through the course, and get tight to that inside clip.
All right, here we go. Daniel Stuke out front. M-Spec Performance S15, nice aggressive flick. James Deane, he's right there. Oh, he does not get out there to the outside zone. James taking that mid-line. Look at now, James, he's got the good proximity. How's he gonna handle it right here? James coming in on the inside, he taps the door. He's fighting back, look at this. Is that the proper thing to, let's roll the tape. Let's roll the tape, I'm gonna shut up.
Well, this is what we were talking about earlier, Jared. We said we know James Deane can do a great job in the lead in this car, but we haven't seen him in the chase position yet, and he showed that he has a couple of weaknesses here in the chase. Now, it could be just this one chase run, obviously, but maybe he's not quite as comfortable in the car at this moment. He didn't go out wide to outside zone 1. He didn't go out wide to outside zone 2. Stuke is really laying it down in the lead position here. You can see Deane's a little bit forward, and then right here he dives in, makes contact with Stuke as he's coming by inside clip number 1 and kind of pushes him around a little bit there. But let's watch it from the eye in the sky. This is the view that's going to give us everything we need to know. Pretty hard to hide anything from the drone. But you can see there that Deane's not really going as wide as he should. Zone 1, zone 2. He did better in zone 3, but right here, did Stuke do anything to... Oh, he did. He over-rotated right there, and Deane didn't really have anywhere to go at that point. So, there were errors earlier on from Deane, but maybe we can put that inside clip error on Stuke. So let's watch it again from yet another replay angle. Keep an eye on where Deane's positioning his car. He should not be that far inside at outside zone 1 or outside zone 2 when Stuke is going that wide. Outside zone 3 was a little bit better, but he still could have positioned himself better than he was there. Right here, Stuke just over-rotates the car right there, and James Deane kind of gets into the side of him a little bit, but he's trying to maintain proximity, trying to stay on throttle, trying to keep his momentum up so he can keep going through the course. So might have to put that on Stuke at inside clip number 1, but definitely some errors made earlier on from James Deane.
You really think it was that massive a mistake of over-rotation and putting a roadblock in front of James?
Yes, definitely. The way he rotated his car and he kind of stalled up there, I think that falls on Stuke. The other judges are watching other replays at the moment, so maybe I'll get some feedback from them after we put in our scores. Yeah,
Stuke, I mean, I'll tell you what, he really gave, I mean, let's just take the cars out of it. 3-time Formula Drift champion, and James has driven a multitude of vehicles from S chassis to, you know, the BMWs. I know he competed at Drift Masters and that. And, he's driven everything, man. So he could just be behind the wheel and really execute some phenomenal driving. So one of the most talented, maybe if not one of the best drifters in the world. All right, so taking a look at different angles, the drivers await what's going to happen here. That AutoZone Mustang RTR Spec 5 FD, taking a look at the fan stats. It's pretty split. So you got 48% saying James Deane, you got 19% saying Daniel Stuke, but 33% is saying one more time. So majority is saying James Deane. What do you guys think? They should go one more time? Where are my James Deane fans at? Who's pulling for Daniel Stuke? So in the building, it's kind of, you know, almost, oh, look at this, boom.
Boom.
Slide him left, slide him right, or go one more time. All right, I like that. The Clone X Beamer chasing down the all-new Toyota Supra. All right, coming into that outside zone. Beechum fails to get out there. Looks like he does mimic that second outside zone. Take him out the middle line into outside zone 3 in that final outside, inside clip. Yeah, again, Freddie, like you said, he's been driving a lot. He's driving on ice, he's driving on snow. He's been spending a lot of time with his wife in Norway, and he's been getting seat time behind the wheel of this car. I don't know how much. I
don't know either, but he just clearly being behind the wheel of anything at all is going to give you an advantage over someone who's not. So watching the replay here, this replay didn't give us a good view of the initiation, but it looked like Trenton was late on his initiation, so we'll have to have a closer look at that. It looked like he was beyond the 3-cone that's on the wall. You can see on the fence the marker is there, and yeah, that was definitely late. He was past the opening in the wall before he initiated, so late initiation from Beechum. You can see he's not matching what Aasbo's doing in the lead. He's not going all the way wide to the zones. Aasbo could have been deeper in 3, but Beechum could have been wider to match what Aasbo was doing. But I think a lot of the chase comparison is going to weigh heavily on Beechum's late initiation, and he did not get out to outside zone 1 or 2 and was inside a little bit on 3 as well. But Beechum does have a couple of opportunities. Aasbo didn't go super wide in 3, so if Beechum can get wide in 1 and 2 and go wide in 3, might give him a slight advantage lead to lead comparison there. In the chase position, Aasbo needs to mimic what Beechum's doing in the lead.
That's what I always say, just, you know, don't just count somebody out. You know, you think it might be, all right, you know, Trent Beechum, new car, this time, the other thing. No, man, he could ruin your day as Trent Beechum gets all the way out there, kisses the wall with that back bumper, gets to that second outside zone, still all this. Look at this. Oh, just, you know, a couple of feet off of that third outside zone, and Freddie giving himself, I don't know, man, that's a lot of room there between Freddie and Trenton, but as you said, that failure to launch by Trenton on that first run, that could really hurt him.
Yes, it could. It looked like in the first part of this run, Aasbo was really doing a good job of positioning his car. He was filling outside zone right behind Trenton. So let's watch from the static drone here. Really good job from Aasbo there. Really good job from Aasbo in the chase, but Trenton did a great job in both of those zones as well. Right there, you can see that Trenton did not fill zone 3. Aasbo followed him exactly where he was, though. He was right in the pocket, the perfect positioning. And then Aasbo gave him a little bit of room on transition, but then got close to him as they went through inside clip number 1. So great job from Aasbo. Look at the car positioning. That's exactly where you want to see the chase car. Perfect positioning from Aasbo until right here where he gives him some space on the transition. And then he gets back a little bit closer there near the finish line. So I think that was a great job from Aasbo. I think chase to chase, Aasbo definitely got the win there. Lead to lead, Aasbo did a good job on zone 1 and zone 2. Beechum did a great job in zone 1 and zone 2, and they both were off on 3, but I think Trenton was further off on 3 than Aasbo was. But I have to say, Trenton's looking much better in this E46 than he was in this Mustang.
Yeah, the E40, the Mustang was, you know, it was ridden hard.
Yeah, the guys are saying that was his best run all weekend, and I
Freddie Aasbo gets the win. It is unanimous. Go right to it. Great run by Trenton Beechum. Looking forward to seeing, you know, getting more seat time behind the wheel of that BMW. I think he's I think he's definitely one to watch, and first time competing in an LS powered vehicle. Teamed up with Odi Bakshis and the field suspension crew, so let's see what Simon Olsen's got in store for us and for Chelsea DeNofa. DeNofa initiates out front. The Nitto tires, those turbo fans out back, going around. Gets both. Oh, look at that nasty snap right there, Ryan. That's that X factor we talked about in qualifying, but Simon Olsen looking very comfortable in the chase. Look how tight Simon Olsen is. Well done by Olsen. Wow. That looked like, you know, because we're so used to seeing the S chassis, that looked like an Odi move.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's obviously not just the car, it's the driver. That was really done, really well done.
For sure, he looks really comfortable in the car, and he's able to position it where he wants it, and he has the power to keep up. So let's look here at initiation to outside zone 1. Chelsea's doing a great job. Simon's off a little bit on 1 and 2 to gain that proximity, and right there, zone 3. He gets right on the side of Chelsea DeNofa. He gets the car positioned perfectly, and he does a great job through inside clip, number 1. In the lead position, Chelsea's doing a really great job of positioning his car. The transition coming under the bridge right here, that was a great snap to angle. Very accurate, too. There was no movement in the car once he reached the angle that he wanted, which is exactly what we want to see. So like you said, the X Factor side of things, if this was qualifying, he'd probably get a pretty high score for the X Factors. Let's watch from this view. Look at that transition. What a snap.
So
it's amazing that he's able to catch it as it rotates so quickly like that. But the car just settles. He's on throttle, and he's making that look really, really easy. Now, Simon Olsen, he needs to lay down a killer lead run. He's got to put his car perfectly on each outside zone. I think maybe he could get slightly deeper in outside zone 3 than Chelsea was, but not a lot of room for improvement on what Chelsea put together there. So he's going to have to be very dynamic in his transition under the bridge.
Good buzzword right there.
Yeah, that buzzword gets a lot of use. But we need that quick snap to angle, but it needs to be accurate. So we don't want to see any kind of corrections in that area right there. But he's got to be on throttle. He's got to put it down because he's going to have Chelsea right on his heels.
And I'll tell you what, with Chelsea, you know, just to reiterate that, he threw down a run that was like a solid qualifying run.
Definitely.
I mean, just with that snap, that X factor that we keep bringing up and reinstituting here. All right, Simon Olsen, clean start. Simon, as you said, he needs to put it down. Front row seat, Chelsea DeNofa. Simon Olsen, that field suspension. S chassis, GT radio. Oh, look at this. A mistake by Chelsea DeNofa going mid-line, but Simon Olsen delivers, filling that third outside zone. Now transitioning into that final inside clip. He does run it over, but aggressive, very aggressive. Some of the most aggressive driving I've seen from this Norwegian pilot. All right, so there are 2 runs. Do we have a victor? Definitely analyze this. On that transition, Chelsea checked up, going from 1 to 2 under the bridge.
Yeah, he either didn't time the transition or couldn't see properly, but you can see he's doing a pretty good job in outside zone 1, but maybe it was just smoke blind. He transitions the car too early, doesn't go all the way wide to outside zone 2. He's able to use that to his advantage to gain proximity and stay close to Olsen, but the damage is sort of already done to his run at that point, unfortunately. So let's watch the transition here. Going through the smoke, yeah, just transitioned too early. He's got a bobble in there as well. He didn't fully rotate the car properly either, so he's offline, and he has the bobble as he transitions. So a couple of you know, bad things for his run. It could have been the smoke, or just could have been the timing. Actually, he started to rotate the car before he was in the smoke, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there. Maybe he expected the car to carry out more in that area, but definitely a big mistake from Chelsea. One that at this level of the competition here, it's kind of not something you want to be making as an error, because it's really hard to overcome that.
Also, you might have noticed the turbo fans, what they're called is the back wheels there. So aesthetically, you know, just running something kind of a little different, little unique. They don't have the actual fins in them, so it's not going to like create that cooling effect. But they were used back in the day for DTM cars, rally cars, a bunch of things. But aesthetically, I just wanted something kind of different, something kind of unique. So RTR.
This is gonna be
That's
a tough one,
on all cars. Yeah, that's a tough one, man. I'll let you do your thing, Ryan. You kind of, you know, deduce what you got to do, and just taking a look at all the different angles our judges utilizing instant replay. We have a kind of all 4 angles, 4 different cameras from the drone to on the ground. Just taking a look at different perspectives to really quantify, qualify, and justify the outcome. All right, looks like verdicts are in. Here we go, who's moving on? Slide him left for DeNofa, right for Simon Olsen. OMT, OMT, and OMT. One more time. So really win it, man, as we're here in the Royal Purple Top 16. Royal Purple, the synthetic experts, the official engine oil of Formula Drift. And here we go. We're seeing Deane Kearney, Matt Field. Was to be our last battle, but guess what? We got a couple one more time. Deane Kearney, Hyper, NFT.io, Pfeiffer. The Irish driver comes in the outside zone 3, just a little bit short, but definitely placed the car in the right spot on 1 and 2. Matt Field, that heat wave hood and the Elite Customs roof, dialing in that Borla exhaust note, ripping and echoing through the streets of Long Beach. Yeah, they're underneath Stuke's M-Spec S15. What do you got, Montaigne?
I think that's the best run we've seen from Deane Kearney. Gets wide on zone 1, wide on zone 2, and I think that's maybe the deepest he's been in zone 3. Didn't get all the way out there, but was fairly deep, so that was a good run from Deane Kearney in the chase, tight on inside clip 1. You can see Matt Field was there. He wasn't putting on the pressure that we'd like to see. He was definitely, you know, within the right amount of proximity, but maybe we'd like to see a little bit more pressure. See him a little bit closer, really getting more aggressive. He's positioned properly. You can see there that he's kind of getting ahead slightly near the end of outside zone 3. Like I said, he's there, but not quite putting on the pressure we need to see from him.
All right, we'll run them back, but go down to Lorette. What's going on with Stuke, Lorette?
Well, Stuke was going to the line, and he felt the car wobbling a little bit, so you called the competition 5 minutes, and you did.
Yeah.
And what's going on?
So he actually saved me. I think I was going to spin around that inner, and that bump that he gave me to push me over the line, thank you. But so I think it cracked a toe control bracket. I felt it kind of wobbling back and forth in the rear on the way back to the line. We thought originally maybe it was just a little toed in, so the alignment was kind of fighting itself. Matt was shaking the wheels, no shake or anything, and then he saw one of the from hole to hole, there's a good crack in there. So it's a complete concrete track. That's a shiny new Mustang. I don't want to be the one to, have a goofball move in front of him. So we're just doing it safe, and we'll get back out there.
I love it. And I love your enthusiasm for the best seat in the house.
All the work these boys do, everything. I'm just paying for the most VIP fan experience. I love watching these guys. The battle with Holobnia this morning, I just got to see the new debut of his car up close and personal. It's so cool. I love it. And now the legend is back, and I get his first battle of the year. I've been visualizing this, and I told him like a month or so ago, I was like, I'm your first battle. I'm your first battle. I want it first. Let's go. So one more time, my mind is blown.
Oh, Dan, thank you so much, and good job manifesting that. Good luck moving forward, guys.
Thank you so much, Lorette. As we see the second run, you talked about Matt Field stepping up, Deane Kearney really kind of stepping up as well. I think he's got a lot of confidence going against second overall last year. The championship just escapes him. New Borla exhaust sponsorship, new tire, for Matt Field. There's a lot of changes, but he says it's all for the better.
In the lead position, he puts all these changes to test, and it looked like he did a good job. You could see that Deane Kearney got a little too aggressive on outside zone 1. Bounced off there pretty well. It's surprising there's not more damage on his car, but Matt Field in the lead put together a really decent lead run, put the car in all the right places. He was nice and smooth. You can see outside zone 1 gets all the way out there. That's where Deane Kearney hit the wall, misses outside zone 2 in the chase position, but then gets right back on Matt Field. Gives him a little bump in outside zone 3. You can see it caused Matt to bobble a little bit. That won't be on him, of course. It'll be on Deane, but great job by Matt Field in the lead position. That was a good run.
Looks like Stuke made it out of his NGK competition timeout. He'll be making his way to the start line after those repairs, as he elaborated on them. And waiting for the outcome here of these two drivers. Talking about Matt Field, Deane Kearney. One more times here in competition. Who's moving on to the grade 8? Slide him left for Deane Kearney, right for Matt Field. It's like Matt Field gets the win unanimously. Matt Field gets the win, taking out Deane, Carnage, Kearney. Here we go, Chelsea DeNofa, make sure he doesn't hit a cone, and we're good. Here we go, Chelsea DeNofa out front, Simon Olsen the chase position, Chelsea DeNofa initiates, Penfield, BC Racing, Mustang, RTR, Spec 5, FD, and transitions now in that second outside zone. You know, on Chelsea's first battle, he was wound up. He hit that X factor, man, that snappy transition, a little safer in my guesstimation here, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Looking at it through the replay straight on will give us the best indication of what he did there, but I think you might be right. May have been a slightly less aggressive transition through that outside zone 1 to outside zone 2 area, but let's look at it from the drone. First of all, great job there on outside zone 1 and 2. Yeah, you can see that the transition was there, it was done properly, but it maybe didn't have the exclamation point on it that it did in Chelsea's first run of the previous battle.
I don't know if anybody's got their Chelsea DeNofa pizza boxes out there. We got the doctor, we got the send it. Some people got their signs out there. You can hold them up, cheer Chelsea on. If you're a Chelsea DeNofa fan, you got your Chelsea DeNofa pizza and bumper and dent repair. The Fun Havers making a cool shirt. Come on, make some noise for him, Long Beach. Wake up, let me hear you. Come on now, send it. Standing room only, every seat is filled, but you're only gonna use the edge. Thank you so much for joining us out here. We'll get a wave going here when we get into the 8 or the 4 or even the finals. Great crowd here, nice cool breeze coming through. Sun is shining. And we are just checking out, getting cameras on cars, making sure everything is good and ready to roll.
Simon made some compromises in the chase position there that Chelsea can now really take advantage of. Yeah, this is an area for Chelsea to stay close, but stay in the pocket and just make his way through this course in the proper way, and it'll give him a chase-to-chase advantage.
Be a little more aggressive. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Simon Olsen initiates field suspension, GT radial, Vortex supercharged S chassis. In that first outside zone, now transitioning in the second outside zone. Chelsea might have been listening there, Ryan. Good job by Simon filling that third outside zone. How's he going to handle this last inside clip? Pretty well done, man.
Yeah, that was a much better job from Chelsea on this run compared to the previous chase run he did before this one more time battle with Simon Olsen. And you can see that he did position himself better than Simon did in this battle on his previous run in the chase position right there. So I think chase to chase, you're going to see a bit of an advantage from Chelsea. It looks like he's got his car in the right area, so in that pocket, right on the rear 3/4 of Simon Olsen's car. So as we watch from the drone, Chelsea was slightly off of outside zone 1 there, but does a much better job in outside zone 2. You can see he's right there with Simon on the transition there. Just kind of got out of his way a little bit to let him transition, but great job from Chelsea in the chase position. I think chase to chase, Chelsea definitely gets an advantage there. So as we watch Simon right there in outside zone 1, Chelsea slightly inside, moves out ever so slightly near the end of the zone, does a better job through 2, and a much better job through 3. Right here you see Chelsea kind of get out of the way. Simon's able to make his transition cleanly, and then Chelsea gets back inside as they come by inside clip 1.
Let's see who comes out on top. Simon and Chelsea awaiting the results. The winner going against Matt Field. Matt Field advancing on. Here we go. Slide him left for DeNofa, right for Olsen, and DeNofa gets one. And one more time, and Chelsea DeNofa gets the win. DeNofa advances on 2-1. So again, DeNofa gets the win. He's going against Matt Field in. All right, making sure they are rip-roaring and ready to go. And clear to send. James Deane, lead position. No cone sit, flirting with that wall. That's what you're talking about, how narrow that is. James Deane initiates. The Mustang RTR into that first outside zone, taps the bumper 1. Does not get outside zone 2, but really well done still. Stuke right there on the nose, does exceed the front of James Deane, but James, massive angle there. That flick rolling into the inside clip. Did swing a little bit wide. Loved the initiation, man. That was a really, really textbook start. You saw that bumper hang and kind of flexed in. He didn't tap on that second one, but still very close.
Yeah, so looking at outside zone 1 here, textbook from James Deane. Stuke's right there. Stuke misses outside zone 2 while Deane gets out to it. Stuke's way inside on outside zone number 3, and you can see Stuke getting himself real close there before the transition, but does avoid contact with James Deane and gets out of his way so that Deane is able to make that rotation and get to the touch and go and then into inside clip number 1. Let's watch it from the FPV drone. So you can see there, nice job from Deane on outside zone 1 and 2. Stuke right here goes in quite a bit. He gets in there more than we'd like to see. Not really mimicking what Deane's doing in the lead position, not going out wide on outside zone number 3, and then through zone, inside clip number 1, you could see Deane was off slightly. Maybe could have had a better arc through there, but yeah, you can see right there, not too bad. Just off of inside clip 1 a little bit in the lead position.
Stuke, I'm expecting big things from Stuke. He's going to leave it all on the track. This is his shot. Shoot your shot. He knows who he's going against. He needs to bring it. He's going to risk it for the biscuit, man. Just watch this. Our final battle of the Royal Purple Top 16 will enter into the Grade 8. Let's see what we got. Stuke, what do you got for James Deane? Daniel Stuke initiates. Comes in a view of the judges, gets out to that first outside zone. In the second outside zone, remember, James is only his second time chasing in this Mustang RTR, but he is applying the pressure, coming in at last, outside, inside, boom. So hit that touch and go. Told you, that was a great lead run by Stuke, but again, second time ever James Deane chasing in this Mustang RTR.
Yeah, he did a really good job of positioning himself in the chase position. You can see he filled zone 1 kind of along the same lines as Stuke did. Good proximity there through zone 2 and zone 3. He gets ahead ever so slightly there, but really I think he had good positioning throughout the run. And right there you can see coming through the inside clip. Beautiful mimic through there. Looked really strong as they come through this power alley here. Really good job from Deane in the chase. I think he's matching the line really well. Matching the angle. The transition was mimicked really, really well also, which is something that Stuke maybe had a bit of a hesitation on when he was in the chase position.
Judges inputted the verdict. Do we have a winner? Where are my James Deane fans at? Make some noise, Long Beach. Where are my Daniel Stuke fans at? Make some noise. Oh, we go either side, and James Deane gets the win. Is this the best? Second time in the 8. Here we go. Ryan Tuerck, Jonathan Hurst. Ryan Tuerck in that Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla Rockstar Pilot transitions into that second outside zone. He's going against the #1 qualifier, Ryan Tuerck. I mean, come on. That's a hard act to follow. I'm sorry, Hurst, but wow. Bro. Come on, Ryan Tuerck just punishing this track right now.
We always talk about a driver being able to put down a good qualifying run, but to be able to repeat it consistently throughout the event, which is what's required for success, Ryan Tuerck is proving today that he is able to do that. He's repeating the same run over and over in the lead position, positioning his car perfectly on every outside zone. Could have been a foot deeper on outside zone 3. All right, so I was wrong. In the chase position, Jonathan Hurst is putting on some pressure. He's staying close to Tuerck from start to finish. Let's watch it from the drone. You can see there's a little bit of gap, but then he gets right in there on Ryan. Transition, beautiful mimic there. Maybe slightly less angle than Tuerck through outside zone 2, and maybe the line was off a little bit. His transition timing was a little bit off there as well. Going to the inside clip 1 area, kind of hung on a little too long, but he managed to stay out of Ryan's way, which is important. You can see he's inside a little bit on outside zone 3 there, but right there, hung on a little bit longer than he should have, so the mimic was off, the timing was off on the transition, but he manages to get the car rotated and gets in nice and tight for inside clip 1 to finish. So great job by both drivers here. We're again proving that you never know who's going to win. The level of competition is so high, the further you get down the bracket, but you know, from start to finish now, it's just anybody's game.
It truly is. I was just talking to Ron Bergenholtz here, who works for Nitto Tire, and we were talking about it. We're like, this is how it's going to be all season long.
Yeah,
It's gonna be like this all season long. That's why I'm so excited about what's expected. But right now, you got to find out. Jonathan Hurst, Ryan Tuerck, who's coming out on top. Jonathan Hurst initiates. Look at him using all of the track. That Tour. Tires going around, nice job by him. Ryan, look at, he's just on it. He is locked in like a tractor beam. Oh boy, tangled up.
You talked too soon. Spoke too soon, my man.
The announcer's
curse strikes again.
Ryan.
All right, we're gonna have to analyze this and see who's at fault for that contact at inside clip 1. They almost made it to the finish line, Jared. It was so close, but we do have some contact. We're gonna have to find some fault here and figure out who caused that contact. So let's look at the transition between the two. So as they come through outside zone 3, Tuerck is well positioned. This drone should give us a good indication of what happened. Tuerck is right there. It looked at first glance here like Hurst was out wide and he was trying to reach in for the inside clip, but I'm going to take a couple more looks at different views to see exactly what happened.
Yeah, I'll let you, Lantain, kind of analyze this. Coming in, good transition. He kind of got hooked up. It's almost like he got on his bash bar up front. So the scenarios here are, obviously Ryan had an amazing lead run. Hurst was part of the conversation, but just not totally in it, where it was like, wow, it was, amazing chase, but great driving. Hurst, you saw Tuerck really close to him, but the scenarios are if Tuerck was too close, got too aggressive, and he's at fault, he would cause that accident from the rear. Or if Hurst, even if he took a wide line, that doesn't justify Tuerck to go in. But we talked about it earlier with Stuke taking that, Lantain saw where Stuke kind of held up and it was more of a roadblock for James Deane, so he had to go and hit him. So that definitely threw James Deane off. Is that the scenario we're seeing here, or Ryan Tuerck just being too aggressive? Look at that, already taped up that front bumper. Taking different angles, different perspectives, looking at this battle here. Remember, we're only into our Tuerck Motorsport, Tuerck Drift 2, the official drifting game of Formula Drift Grade 8. So still analyzing these runs here. Chris Yule, Ryan Lantain. And Robbie Nishida analyzing the runs. Waiting there in the wings. The winner here advancing on into the Final Four. Who's it gonna be? Still TBD. All right, so getting Ryan, you put in your decision.
I did.
The other drivers or the other judges, excuse me.
I'm not sure. I can't really see what their pads are up to up there.
Yeah, they are. So
we're analyzing what the lead driver is doing, and we're analyzing what the chase driver is doing. We're seeing, is the lead driver on throttle? Is the lead driver carrying momentum? Is the lead driver on the right line? Is the lead driver making an adjustment that could cause it? And then you're looking at the chase driver. Is the chase driver mimicking the angle? Is the chase driver mimicking the line? Is the chase driver diving in? All of these different things.
Here we go. Slide. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Slide him left for Tuerck. Slide him right for Jonathan Hurst. Correct. Right, Robbie? You with Jonathan Hurst, correct? Yes, sir. And your justification there.
They did it outside the compass leader exchange.
Sorry, we were just looking to see what happened at the inside clip, the incident there, and we were seeing when Hurst was picking up his, getting back on throttle and looking at the angle difference. Tuerck did go into the the turn a little bit more shallow than Hurst did. And right when the contact happened, it looked like Hurst was getting back on throttle, and the front tires contacted, and the car whipped around and pretty much, put the contact, the blame on Tuerck. Exactly.
All right, so Tuerck, who won the event last year, just a bit too aggressive in that final turn. So Jonathan Hurst advances on into the Final Four, his best competition he's ever had. So now Rome versus Forrest Wang. Rome leading Forrest Wang, give it chase. Rome initiating the garageistic BMW E36 into that first outside zone. Big angle there from Rome. Forrest Wang, you saw him get aggressive. He was actually transitioning before Rome was, but look at Rome. Forrest right there. Now transitioning into that final inside clip. Forrest Wang, great job mimicking an absolute ripper of a run there by Rome.
Yeah, that was a nice job from both drivers. They both laid down good runs. They fulfilled, I think, their responsibilities that they have in both the lead and chase positions really well. So you can see in the lead position, Rome's laying it down. He's putting it where he should. A little bit off line there was Wang in the chase position, but he's really on proximity. He's mimicking the transition in both transition number 1 and transition number 2. You saw right there, getting the car positioned really well. I think if you had to choose a winner based on this alone, you'd say Rome, just because in the chase position there was good proximity from Wang, but he wasn't really filling the zones as well as Rome was 1 and 2. I think he did a much better job on 3, but proximity, mimicking angle, transitions, great job from Wang. Just needed to push the car back a little bit in zone 1 and 2, and he would have had, I think, a much better job in the chase position there, but now we switch roles. So what does Rome have to do? He needs to do a better job of mimicking Wang's line while doing everything else that Wang did in the chase position, which was matching the angle and the transitions. So he does have an opportunity there to deepen his line if Wang does go deep in zone 1 and 2. He just needs to match what he's doing. In the lead position, Wang has to put it on the wall 1, 2, 3 and get tight on that inside clip. Really have a nice transition under the bridge to put kind of the exclamation point on his lead run. So that's kind of what both drivers need to do in their respective roles now.
There's a big window of opportunity for a mistake is kind of what I'm seeing here, because that was a great, really good lead and chase. Here we go. Now Forrest Wang out front. Rome right in that pocket. Good job by him. A little shallower than Forrest Wang, but I think that's a good approach. All the way out to an outside zone. Rome tucking in on the smoke. Dives in. Amazing, really good run by both the drivers. I mean, we're splitting hairs here. I mean, they're very similar. I mean, from even the color hue of green, they're almost matching. They're twins.
Yeah, you can see Forrest did not do quite as good of a job on zone 1 than Rome did on his lead. He was off of that zone. You can see that Wang did go wide in zone 3 though, but right there with him is Rome. Rome was matching everything from start to finish. He was nice and tight. I think he did a better job of mimicking Wang's line. He positioned himself pretty well. If you look right there, he's in the pocket on the transition. Came ahead a little bit right here. Could have been slightly deeper in zone 3, but I think he did a very good job in the chase position and really, I think, outdid what Wang did in his chase. So this is going to give us a better view here of outside zone 1, which is Wang's biggest mistake is not going all the way wide on 1. Look how far off he is right here. That's not characteristic of Wang. He was off of 2 a little bit as well. So I think zone 3 is where he really did his best work, let's say, on the outside zones. But Rome was right there with him, and I think maybe Rome had a better lead run.
All right. Well, again, it's great to see Forrest Wang in the mix, and it's really great to see how he comes back and is very competitive right out of the gate. And just again, the peaking of Rome Charpentier, but I would say that he's actually hasn't peaked. He's definitely just growing and growing. All right, slide him left for Rome, slide him right for Forrest. Rome says 1, 2, and a 3. We saw James, like you said, that was only his second chase run in that vehicle. Freddie's got to step it up. Yeah. I mean, like I said, he's not driving like I've seen Freddie drive before. He might be kind of ramping up, but he's got to do it now. Whoa, James Deane explodes that back bumper into that second outside zone. Now he goes into that third, dragging that RTR. Spec 5 FD bumper. He knows who he's going against. 2 good friends, 2 fierce competitors, and 6 championships between these 2 drivers. Wow. Holy banana cakes.
That was dramatic.
Yo. zero chill James Deane.
All right, so this initiation, James goes a little bit wide early here,
Whack.
clips the edge of the tire wall, still stays on throttle, goes through the rest of the course. Aasbo is unfazed. He's right there with him and does not get kind of put off by that at all, doesn't get thrown off, stays on throttle. Let's watch this in slow-mo as the back of the car essentially gets ripped off there. You can see in the chase position, Aasbo's right there, stays on throttle, manages to stay with James all the way through the rest of the course. That shows some dedication and commitment from Aasbo, or some trust, let's say. Yeah, James Deane did a good job despite hitting that tire wall and exploding the rear of his car. Aasbo was right there, putting on the pressure, matching angle, matching line, doing a good job of mimicking what James Deane was doing in the lead position.
Freddie Aasbo, 3-time champion. James Deane, 3-time champion. Who's going to get the win? Who's moving on to the final four? Battered and bruised, but not knocked down. Freddie gets intimate with the wall. 1, 2, little off that second outside zone. Now into the third outside zone. There's Fredric. He dialed in that third outside zone. That's what it's been escaping him all weekend. James kind of just slid right around. That got a little sketchy there. If he was in the lead, that was not the ideal line for James in that chase.
Yeah, he really tried to sneak it in there and back it right in next to Aasbo. And you can see that it sort of stalled him up a bit, but he got back on throttle and managed to keep moving. Right here through outside zone 1 and 2, you can see James is inside a little bit. He's not following the line perfectly. I'd like to see him a little bit better on the line mimic through there. And right there he gets, let's start the runoff again here from a different view. Get the cars initiated. You can see the back of that Mustang flapping in the wind. So right there, Aasbo nice and tight to that wall. Nice and tight, well, almost tight to outside zone 2, but Deane is not really going out as wide, kind of keeping his nose forward a little bit. And then right here, gets the car kind of slid right in there. We're going to get a BC racing side-by-side, which is always pretty helpful. You should be able to see everything as it happens on both sides of the screen from both positions here. So proximity-wise, you can see that Aasbo did have more proximity earlier on. Deane does get a little bit closer later on in the run in terms of mimic of line and angle. I think it looked like Aasbo maybe did a better job of that. He had sort of a more consistent amount of proximity in the chase position to Deane. And it looked a lot cleaner through inside clip 1 as well from Aasbo in the chase position compared to what Deane did in his chase run through that area of the track.
All right, so James Deane, Fredric Aasbo, Freddie, and Fredric Aasbo gets the win. Thank you so much, Lorette. Some great insight there, that warrior mindset, great reference there, Lorette. Here we go, Chelsea DeNofa, tip to tail. Chelsea DeNofa, look at Matt Field diving in on the inside, taking a bit of a shallower line, but getting himself prepared, getting in the pocket. Chelsea DeNofa loops it. That could have been a lot worse. He backs it into the tire wall. That back left corner obviously bashed in, but, you know, as you said, the back end of all the Mustangs are just getting absolutely eaten up.
Thankfully, that's just cosmetic. There won't be any real substantial damage there, but like you said, that could have been way worse. And it's an interesting start for Matt Field to that run. The way they had himself positioned after initiation, you sort of felt like he was getting himself set up poorly for this chase run. Yeah. And then to
he dove in. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Really weird.
So let's watch it here on the replay. You can see as he gets the car initiated, it hooks up, and you can see it shoot in real quick. But he gets back on throttle, and he manages to stay pretty close to Chelsea. He was going to be off of outside zone number 2 compared to what Chelsea was doing, and then Chelsea over-rotates and goes into the tire wall. So that was definitely a stroke of luck for Matt Field in the chase position, especially with the way that his run was starting off. And I'm sure Matt is going to analyze that run as he goes forward in competition here potentially to see what happened there so that he doesn't recreate that initiation, because that is definitely not the type of initiation that you want to see.
Wow, crazy. So Matt Field comes out unscathed. We're here in the Tuerck Motorsports Tuerck Drift Grade 8. Torque Drift 2, the official drifting game of Formula Drift. Waiting for this final Grade 8 battle to see who goes into the Type S Final Four. Type S Touring Products, the official lighting of Formula Drift. Also dash cam and Chelsea DeNofa banged up, but hopefully just aesthetic. We'll find out right now. Matt Field initiates. Chelsea DeNofa knows he needs to apply the pressure, maybe force a mistake as Matt Field goes 1 to 2. Chelsea see him surging in. Matt Field, good execution from that Corvette. Now in that final inside clip. That's it. That's going to be it. Matt Field did exactly what he needed to do, and Chelsea was trying to apply the pressure, force a mistake, but it just did not work out in his way. He spins out, causes that damage. So Matt Field will advance on. Taking a look at this overhead shot here, Ryan.
Yeah, great job from Matt Field in the lead position. You can see Chelsea was putting on the pressure initially, but then goes offline as he goes through outside zone 2 and 3 and isn't really following what Matt Field's doing in the lead position. And as they come to inside clip 1, Chelsea does get back online, does a great job there. Matt Field misses the inside clip, but looking at what happened to Chelsea DeNofa in the previous run, I think Matt Field has it in the bag.
Yeah, that's going to be all she wrote. The Tuerck Motorsports Grade 8. Chelsea DeNofa, Matt Field, and Matt Field, the beast from the Bay. Tuerck will take himself out. And we are ready to send cars. Who's going to the finals? Jonathan Hurst, Rome Charpentier. We have our performance bonuses as well. And here we go. Rome will lead. Garagistic, BMW. On the Vitour tires, both these guys on Vitour. And look at that, there we go, Rome Charpentier. Both these guys dialing in that third outside zone into that inside clip. Textbook, baby. Rome has just been wash, rinse, repeat, man. He has just been absolutely on it outside of that contact with Ryan Tuerck. Hurst has been there, right there as well.
Yeah, right here you can see Rome, great lead run, getting out wide on zone 1. Hurst sacrifices outside zone 2, whereas Rome gets to it. Hurst doesn't go as wide on outside zone 3 either. You can see he's sacrificing line a little bit to maintain that proximity. Rome, on the other hand, in the lead is doing a great job. He's positioning his car really well. You can see right there in the transition, nice job on zone 2. Great job on zone 3, and you can see that the back of Hurst's car is not all the way out to that zone. He's off a little bit on the touch and go, but nice and tight on inside clip 1. So Hurst, he's strategically working on proximity, and he's doing whatever it takes to stay close. He did great on zone 1, though. You can see they both did a good job there, but right there, it's very apparent where Hurst is not going all the way wide. He didn't go wide on 3 either, but proximity is there. So you have to look at that sacrifice when we do comparisons. We're going to see what happens with Rome in the chase now. Is he going to be able to position his car in the pocket in every one of those zones, which would put him at an advantage over Hurst, and that's what he does need to do to win the chase-to-chase comparison. Now Hurst going into the lead, he's going to have to be wide on 1, 2, 3, get tight on the inside clip, and do it smoothly with nice transitions as well. So the pressure's on for both of these drivers right now to get into the finals.
All right, here we go. Let's alternate it. Thank you, Ryan. Some great insight throughout top 16 going in here to the Final Four. Who's going to the finals?
Ooh,
now, John.
down.
Ooh, we hit the cone. Back it up. Back it up.
The cones are definitely the villain of this.
Yeah, man.
This event.
Yep. Yep. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Jonathan Hurst back at the start line. Rome giving thumbs up, saying he's good to go. The Garagistic BMW, both these guys, loud and proud. Who's going to be going against either Aasbo or Field to get into the finals? Jonathan Hurst, the Vitour. Both these guys on that new tire. Oh, slams into that first outside. Rome gets out of shape. Rome taking a very shallow line. Yeah, Jonathan Hurst went in hard, but I don't know if it affected, oh my gosh, Rome spins out. We got to roll this back. I mean, he went heavy into the wall, but honestly, it didn't affect him that much, but you got to think the parts that come off, you know, all that, so.
When you're in the chase position watching that lead
tough.
car, you know when that line is a little too wide and you're in the chase and you're hoping you don't get collected in whatever's happening there. Hurst went in very hard there. That did a pretty, made a pretty big mess of the back of his car. He did have a pretty big mistake on outside zone 2 as well due to that. So let's look at the trajectory of his car here. So you can see that, yeah, in the chase position, Rome was absolutely thrown off by that hit. And it caused him to have a huge bobble under the bridge on the transition. He clearly wasn't ready for Hurst to keep going after that hit. That was a massive, massive hit. We do say, you know, don't treat the walls like bump stops here. You're not supposed to pinball from wall to wall. And in the chase position, you have to expect that it's going to be pretty difficult for a chase driver to have the confidence that that lead driver is going to keep going. So we'll have to see what the judges think about this.
Tires, Matt Field. Borla, Heatwave, Lean Customs, GT Radial Corvette. Fredric Aasbo initiates, trying to get the outside zone. He taps it. Matt Field spins and goes into the wall. Matt Field spins and gets caught up in the smoke. Let's take a look at that. It looked like, see what's going on. Did he get in the wall or did he save it?
So
Here,
looking at Matt Field's initiation, there was something odd with the initiation itself, and then right there, he just got maybe a little too close to Aasbo and outside zone 1, where Aasbo really hung it out there. He's close to the wall.
But he did that
Did
the
a little
last time.
tap.
Remember how he like dove
Yeah.
in? It was like the car's gripping up and it's not breaking loose.
Exactly, yeah, there was it was a weird move there on initiation. I don't know what happened to the car as he tried to rotate it. And then as he comes into view here, you can see Aasbo just does a little tap, and Field just over-rotates the car as he comes around through outside zone 1. Looked like he may have had a little tap on the wall. Well, thanks to the eagle eye of a couple of our judges over here and our assistant up here and driver steward Sean Adriano, we're reviewing the replay, and right as Aasbo's tapping the wall in outside zone number 1, his decel light comes on. So this is something that we're going to have to look at a little more closely, see if we can get the data off the car. It's something, if you have your phone out, you can see yourself in the replay. You'll see just as he gets to the wall, the decel light comes on either side of the windshield on Aasbo's car. It could be due to the tap on the wall, or it could be due to getting too close to the wall and maybe getting a little bit worried about hitting too hard. We'll have to analyze this a little bit. Scooter laying down a sick lap. But we're going to have a look at this a little bit closer.
Yeah, a lot of analyzing going on. Matt Field gets out of the car. Just shot into that wall. Such a bummer for Matt. Inspecting that front end, seeing what's going on. Maybe it locked up. All right, so we're gonna get Matt Field towed off here. Make some noise for Matt Field and Fredric Aasbo. You can see that Lean Customs pin right there. Lean Customs making some awesome enamel pins.
All right, so we're going to look at this again from the drone view and try to see the lights on the windshield and look at the attitude of Aasbo's car as he gets out to the wall and does that little wall tap. Now, the wall tap itself, we don't think should set the light off. You can see the decel light there on initiation, which is totally normal. Look at the green, and then it goes red right there as the tap happens. So we're going to have to analyze that a little bit more. But, of course, we have time because Matt Field is getting towed off due to...
Fredric Aasbo, Matt Field, keep this energy going. Who's going to go against Rome in the finals? The needle's going his way on 3. Let's yell, send it. 1, 2, 3. Send it! Here we go. Lick the stamp and send it. Matt Field, Fredric Aasbo, Matt Field out front. Got that Mad Max look, more like Mad Max. Going into that first outer zone, into that second outer zone. The green lights are on. Into that third outer zone. Goes Matt, goes Freddie. Freddie applying the pressure. Now coming out last inside clip. Can Matt Field get it done? Based off of what you were saying, Ryan, you and the other judges, the needle was going the way of the field, the beast of the bay. I see his pops down there, he's spot for him, getting in his head. All signs are saying that Field's going to the finals, but let's take a look at it again here, Ryan.
Yeah, as you look through the replay, you can see that Matt did put a run down. We're going to try to review what exactly happened in the lead position. I don't think he incompleted. I don't see an issue where he straightened or anything like that. Let's watch here. His angle wasn't great in initiation, but he's coming through outside zone 1. Didn't get super close, but definitely running a line that is acceptable. It's not ideal, it's not 100%, but he's getting through the course, and Aasbo is right there behind him, putting together a chase run that would be deemed okay as well. He's getting himself positioned all right, but he's definitely playing it safe in the chase, not knowing what's going to happen to Matt Field's car ahead, because from the looks of it, Matt doesn't know what his car is going to do after that hit. But Matt's kind of playing it safe here. You can see he's coming through the zones with angle, getting the car through the course. It might just be enough to get him the win due to the fact that the initial incomplete that was given had been transferred over to Aasbo for causing that collision.
Some exciting action. Slide him left for Aasbo, right for Field, and looks like Matt Field will get the win. His team thrashing to get the car together. On 3, let's yell send it. 1, 2, 3, send it! Rome Charpentier with the higher qualifying position. Remember, Matt Field had to go for the second qualifying run to get in it to win it. And right now, here he is. Guaranteed a podium for both these guys. Rome Charpentier out that first outer zone. In his second outer zone. Matt Field, great proximity. Rome Charpentier delivering on that third outer zone. The sun is setting on one of the drivers, but it's rising for the other. Into that last inside clip. Great run from both the drivers. Rome is automatic right now. He is driving on a level I haven't seen of consistency that I haven't seen from him before. You know what I mean? Like, he's always driven good and exciting, but it just seems to be continuous.
Yeah, Rome's entered a new era maybe in his career here with Formula Drift. You can see Rome doing a great job in the lead position, placing his car pretty much everywhere he needs to. He could have been slightly tighter on a couple of those zones, but I think we were, being worried, let's say, about what Matt Field would be able to do in the chase position. It looks like his car is functioning pretty well. He's able to get the car positioned the way he wants it. He's on throttle, he's in proximity. He maybe missed those 2 zones there slightly, just kind of taking a little advantage of a tighter line to maintain proximity against Rome, but he's getting the car placed pretty well through the inside clip. Rome was off that inside clip a little bit, but overall, look at the initiation here. They initiate really well. That's good mimic from Matt Field in the chase position, but you'll see here he doesn't, Rome, doesn't go all the way out to outside zone 1 or 2. Could have been a little tighter on those zones. Zone 3, again, a few feet off the wall. And that's where we are right now. We need to see these drivers actually grazing the bumper on the edge of the wall to actually say, okay, he filled the zone. 3, 4, 5 feet off the wall, and that is not ideal. So we did see some space there from Rome Charpentier on zone 1, 2, and 3. So in terms of what Matt Field needs to do right now, he does have an opportunity to better what Rome did. He can get deeper in 1, 2, and 3 and really put an exclamation point on that transition under the bridge. That'll give him an advantage in the lead position. In the chase position, Rome needs to stick it to Matt and follow him wherever he goes. We want the back of the car to match Matt's back of the car. So we want smoke lines blended throughout the course.
Here we go, Matt Field initiates. Is this the final battle? Are we gonna get a victory? We go one more time. Matt Field, wow, works his way all the way out to that first outer zone, into the second. Rome a bit shallow as Matt Field drags it into, oh my gosh, right on that third outer zone. You asked, he delivered. Absolutely insane. Matt Field that was a 100-point, I'm just gonna say, that was a 100-point qualifying run. That was gangster. Absolutely rock solid. Watch it. He doesn't get into the wall. He glances it. 1, 2, 3, and the way he executed that last inner clip, I'm gonna be honest, that's probably the best we've seen from any of the drivers today.
Let's look at this up close, Jared. Great job on outside zone 1. You can see Rome right there, but Rome does not go out to outside zone 2 where Field does. Field gets all the way out to 3, grazes that wall as well. Rome is right there with him, but he does make a couple of compromises on line to keep with Matt Field. And maybe that hit from Matt Field on the wall earlier was what he needed to just loosen up and drive the car a little more aggressively without any kind of concern. He just went for it. He's potentially saying, you know what, the car has already been in the wall once. What do I have to lose? And he's really throwing the car at the wall here. Great initiation, a couple of little tight handbrake pulls there, short, little graze of the wall. Outside zone 2, very close, maybe a foot away. Nice and deep on outside zone 3, probably grazed the wall there as well. So that was an awesome lead run from Matt Field. Rome was right there with him, but did make a couple of compromises in the chase position.
All right. If we have a winner, we'll bring him down here. If we have a winner, we'll bring him right front and center. If we have a winner, we'll bring him right down front and center where we have the national anthem. All right, so sounds like we're bringing him down here. We got a winner here, round 1 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Make some noise for all these drivers, guys. All the crew, all the teams. Our podium ceremony is right here behind the main grandstand. If you want to join us, pop the champagne. Make some noise for your podium finishers. Thank you so much to all the fans, the staff, the crew, everybody. 20 years of Formula Drift. And it all begins here and it ends at Irwindale. Next round, Atlanta. Join myself and our whole star-studded cast. Thank you to Ryan Lantagne, of course, Ryan Sage, Robin Ishida, Chris Ewell, Brian Egger, all the staff. Thank you to T-Bone. Thank you to Steph Parker. Thank you to everybody for coming out here. Here's our podium finishers. Finishing 3rd place here at round 1 of the 2023 Formula Drift Championship on the streets of Long Beach in the Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota GR Supra on Nitto tires. It is Fredric the Norwegian Hammer Aasbo. And your winner for our 20th season here on the streets of Long Beach, fighting tooth and nail. We've seen him on the box before. As a V8 under the hood, has a smile on his face, and your winner here at round 1 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship is Matt the Beast from the Bay Field! The Borla Exhaust Heatwave Lean Customs Drift Cave Corvette is your winner here in Long Beach. That means 2nd place from San Diego, California, La Costa, Garagistic, putting Vitor on the box for the first time is Rome Charpentier. Rome Charpentier, 2nd place here in Long Beach. It's GT Radial, Vitor, and Nitto, 1, 2, and 3. Congratulations to our drivers again, GT Radial, Vitor, and Nitto Tire. Obviously the consumable out here on track. Thank you so much, Ryan. Your thoughts? Great event. See you in Atlanta.
Heck of a way to start the season, Jared, and I cannot wait for Atlanta. I hope to see everybody there.
Thank you so much, Ryan Lantagne. Thank you to Lorette Nickel. Speaking of Lorette, she's down there with our winner now. Thank you, Lorette.
Hey, Matt, you'll turn right around. Congratulations, your first Long Beach win. I know this has been waiting for this moment. And it felt like everything was moving really, really well together the first battle you had against Chris Forsberg, and after that, you just kept fighting.
I was worried about the top 32 battle, not gonna lie. Anytime you go against Chris, you gotta bring it, 100%. And, you know, being a little bit discouraged with qualifying, for sure. Didn't put me in exactly the right headspace, but I left that shit at the hotel and showed up because, yeah, every battle was difficult and every battle was a high-profile battle and anybody can win. Like, I think we've all said it a million times. Any 20 dudes can show up and win, you know? You really just don't know. And to get the win at my favorite track. And this is my absolute favorite track, and you guys are the absolute best crowd. Absolutely. It feels the best. And, yeah, quick shout-out to CAD Chris and Cage Kits, because the only reason why we were able to get back out there is because that crushable tube front end that I've been bragging about on my social media. Cage Kits and CAD Chris from Part Shop Max. Honestly, you guys made it happen because that thing took the hit, new intercooler, new parts, and we were back. So that's a testament to the upgrades that we've made, and finally.
And it's such a testament to your team as well. You said that over the last 2 years, you've realized you're where you are because you're putting the work in. And again, you get to prove that here today.
I'm putting the work in, and so is the team. Never for a second did they think that they couldn't get it back together, but we also knew what was on the line, so it couldn't go back together wrong. So it was a very, very high-profile deal. And special shout-out to Alec. He's my new crew chief this year. He works full-time next to me, literally right-hand man at the shop. And that guy straight up made it happen. Never got nervous once, never missed a beat. I don't even know if you cross-threaded a bolt, dude. You did pretty damn good.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Your winner of 2023 Long Beach, Matt Field.
And just like that, we are off and running. The driver championship, Matt Field, of course, with the win, the 100 points. Rome Charpentier second, Fredric Aasbo, Jonathan Hurst in fourth, and Ryan Tuerck, the #1 qualifier, still top 5. Congratulations again to Matt Field, the Beast of the Bay. Let's go pop some champagne. Congratulations, Rome, down there. Thank you. Congratulations to our Formula Jeff fans. We'll see you guys in Hotlanta, baby. I'm Jared Deane. We'll see you online, or we'll see you another time. Send it, Formula Drift Nation.